Okay, welcome back to another lesson. The last lesson we looked at some basic if functions. Okay, we're going to look at those in a bit more detail today with a spreadsheet model. Now, the spreadsheet model is something that we can use and adjust the quantities to see how the model will be working. Okay, so let's jump right into today's topic. So the first thing you're going to do today is pause this video and type in everything that you see here as exactly as you see it. Okay, so pause the video and type everything. Okay, now that you have everything typed onto your computer exactly how it is here, what we're going to do, the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to sort data to two levels. So when we want to sort the information, we want to put this in alphabetical order, but within the type. Okay, so it's very important that we highlight the whole table. We click on our data tab at the very top, and then we can see there's a box to sort. Okay, now we select this icon here, and we're going to say sort by. If we have a look at what we have here at the moment, you can see these titles here relate to these titles here. Some of you might not see them because you haven't highlighted the titles. If you have and you only see the letters here, you need to tick My data has headers. When you select that option, you can then see the headers. If you don't do that, it will then sort these headers in amongst all these different details here, records. Okay, so let's have a look. So we want to sort them first. I'm going to show you we want to sort it by the type. So we want to group it in the type, and then we want to add a level, and then we want to add by description. Now we want them both ascending, A to Z. For descending, Z to A, but we're going to be doing both of them ascending. So when we click on OK, if we have a look at the table, we should see it sorted all the types together, alphabetical, and within the type, they're also alphabetical within the types, like so. Okay, the next thing we're going to look at is I'm just going to show you a new skill, which is decimal places. We can actually add decimal places and take them away. So if we just want them to a whole number, okay, rounded or two decimals. But today, because it's the price, we are going to use currency. Okay, so what we're going to look at is this spreadsheet. It's very important that when you edit a spreadsheet, you understand what the spreadsheet is, the main purpose is of that spreadsheet. It makes things a lot easier when you understand what the spreadsheet is trying to tell us. So first off, let's see here. So this is a sweet shop calculation model. We have our quantity ordered, the description of what we're ordering, the type, and the price. Now, the net is going to be the price times the quantity, and the total plus the tax is going to be the net with the tax added on. Okay, now as we look further down, we have the grand total of what they need to pay. Now, if they spend over £150, they will get a discount of 10%. So then we can add the discount here. So let's first look at the first formula. So the net, obviously what we're going to look at is the quantity times the price will give us the net. So we're going to go to start off the formula. They always begin with an equal sign. Equals the quantity times the price, which is going to be A3 times D3. And 3 dairy milk bars at 5.75 each is 17.25. Now for that we can then auto fill down like so. Okay, so we have our net of the total. Now we need to now add the tax, which is the 15% to this total. So 17.25 plus 15%. So what I'll do is I'll break this down slowly for you. First off, we go to equals. We're going to take our net, which is the 17.25. We're going to times that by the H2, which is our 15%. When we hit enter, we get a value there. That £2.59 is what we need to add on to the net to get our total price that needs to be paid. So if we double click, we have a look at that. We then add brackets around this. And what we're going to do is this is E3 plus and it's going to be the E3 times H2. So we have a look at that. And so we have the net. Now we have the net with the tax added on top. Now we can't autofill. It won't work if we try and autofill this because of the absolute sale reference. Okay, as you can see, there's nothing added on. 750, 1050, the tax has not been added on. Again, if we have a look at the formulas, okay, the H2 should remain the same, and it goes to H2, H3, H4, H5, but we don't want it to show H5. We need it to be fixed using an absolute cell reference for the H2. So let's go back to change the view. Now let's have another look at this formula here. So what we're going to do is the H2 needs to be remain in place, if you like, frozen, okay, as we can auto fill down. So now let's try this. Again, we don't want it to show the 2250. We're going to now autofill, and we can see now 2250 plus our 15% is now 2588. The 750 plus the 15% is 863. So you can see it's added on like so. And again, if I very quickly show you the formulas, you can see H2 remains the same. It does not change. Okay, next we're going to have a look at the total. Do you remember the function for the total? Equals sum. We put in the first cell reference, which is F3, followed by a colon, and the last cell reference, which is F12. And what that will do is it'll add everything in between those two cell references, like so. Now we're going to have a look at the discount. I'm going to change these a bit so we actually have something that requires a discount. So if they receive a discount, or sorry, if they spend over £150, they will receive a discount of 10%. Okay, so if you remember the if function from the last lesson, we're going to add our if function. Now, the logical test, what we're going to say here is if the total, which is in F14, is greater than, because they have to spend over 150, so we're not going to do greater than or equal to, we do is if F4 is greater than 150, comma, value if true. Now, if it is over 150, what you've looked at before is adding text, and we put text in the quotations like so. But this one, we're going to add a formula instead of the text. So, if the total in F14 is greater than 150, they will receive a 10% discount. So what we then do is we put in a formula. If it is, then we're going to take F14 times by the 10% discount, which is I2. We don't need to use the absolute sale reference. We don't need to add the dollar sign here because we don't need to autofill these cells that remain in place. Okay, so if F14 is greater than 150, they will get a discount. The discount amount, the calculation, is the total in F14 times the discount, comma, value if false, which means if they don't spend over 150, then the discount amount they get will be 0. They won't get a discount if they don't spend over 150. Now, let's have a look at that. We can see that there's a £15, 17 pence discount. Okay, we're going to change this into currency. Okay, 15, 17. And then how much they have to pay? What we need to do is the total minus the discount. So again, equals the total, which is in cell F14, minus how much you have to pay. And this gives us the balance. Now we need to test this further to make sure that it works. So let's change this back to 3, and we will see that the total is less than 150, which means they don't get any discount. Let's add a few more in here. Let's add 8 Maltesers, add 7 Snickers, And let's go for 12 Hershey's. Okay, so we can see the total now is £250, which is over the 150. So they get a 10% discount, which is £25, which means they only need to pay £225. Now, again, let's say that they don't want any Hershey's. So now the price is below £150, which means that they don't get any discount. Now the calculation is made because we have the if function in here like so. Okay, so for today's exercise, you're going to create the spreadsheet model, okay, and then you're going to upload it to your Google Classroom. Okay, thank you.